In the early 2000s, I came across a website that I found really interesting, and over the past 2 decades, I've gone back to revisit it every few years. It's the fan website for the 1970s TV show Kresky, about the disco dancing cop who took on the crime of LA. It's appropriately enough on KreskyTV.com, and it's an incredibly detailed website for a show that never existed. I have a great appreciation for old TV and shows that ran decades before I was even born. Kresky shows a love letter to a lot of the crime, drama, and action shows of the 1970s and 80s, things like Starsky and Hutch, The Rockford Files, and Hawaii Five-0. But it's also a love letter to a lot of TV history, and we'll see more of that as we go. According to the website, legend has it that Kresky began with a one-line memo from UBC president Larry Rubin to the series creator, producer Matt Jamieson. It read, "Serpico meets the Mod Squad in a disco." It ran on UBC for 5 seasons from 1976 to 1980. It of course starred Terrence Michael Matterly as the titular cop Nick Kresky. Ernest Malone was his streetwise informant Dr. Pibb, playing a kind of Huggy Bear role. Season 3 famously added Ronald Dean Whitney as Wade Cantrell, the Pez-loving Virginian, who had a personality opposite to that of Kresky, which added to their dynamic. There was also a lot of tropes of the era, the hard-nosed Captain Frank Marino and the surly Commissioner Pratt. Erin Lowe played Connie Summers, the file clerk whose determination and clever file sleuthing pulled together a lot of vital information that would always help Kresky from week to week and fan the flames of their ongoing will they or won't they relationship. And Max Lentz played Iggy Morton, the constantly down on his luck tipster, always looking for a scheme or half-baked business idea to land him that one final big score. All of this, the characters, the show, the actors, everything involved with it, is completely fictional. This website is an incredibly detailed encyclopedia to a show that never existed. But it pays tribute to not only the shows of the 70s and 80s, but TV history as a whole, and we'll look at that more as we go. The website has fake background and history to the whole show, fake biographies for all of the actors involved. There are 103 episodes listed in the episode guide, each one containing a summary of the episode. These are fictional descriptions for fictional episodes of a show that never existed. Some of my favorites include Iggy Morton wants to make an honest man of himself by opening LA's very first disco car wash, the Wash and Groove, but unknown to Iggy, his partner is using the operation to launder mob money. Can Kresky and Cantrell save Iggy from the mob and help him go straight? Illegal immigrants are being smuggled across the border from Mexico and then forced to work as sweatshop slaves in a piñata factory until they die. Kresky teams up with Maria Movidar, a fetching INS agent, to bust the ring of slavers. At discos all over LA, a dance floor psychopath is doing more than just cutting a rug. He's cutting the throats of beautiful young women. Can Kresky track him down before he claims his next victim? An aging movie star obsessed with regaining her former fame hires a psychopathic hitman to kill her, believing that will seal her fate as a legend. But when her agent comes through with a movie role that could mean a comeback, she discovers that she can't call off the killer. Kresky and Cantrell are the only thing standing between her and a bullet. When a narcoleptic teen is mistakenly accused of robbing a liquor store, Kresky champions his cause and learns an important lesson about the boy's dangerous and disabling condition. When a rare spotted koala is abducted during a transfer from the Sydney Zoo to the LA Zoo, Kresky and Cantrell are on the case, attempting to avert an ugly international incident. Help appears in an unlikely form when an Aboriginal tracker named Bola joins the detectives to help recover his tribe's sacred animal. When Billy, a talented ventriloquist, is found with the body of a young woman and blames the murder on his missing dummy, Bobby, the police naturally assume he's insane. But Kresky and Cantrell begin to suspect there's a lot more to the story than meets the ear when they discover that Billy has a long-lost midget brother named Bobby. The site pokes fun at a lot of the bizarre and eccentric creative decisions that usually come with the TV show's late series rot. The point where they stir controversy with fans and people accuse them of jumping the shark. A couple of examples from the Kresky site include Kresky and Cantrell getting a monkey sidekick named Moochie, whose playful and precocious antics help them to solve crimes during the week, and also one about Kresky and Cantrell facing off against the literal devil himself in one of the final episodes. The site was created by Tim Madison, who would later go on to write for the Cartoon Network and Disney and was involved creatively with several Universal Studio rides. I've tried contacting him and other members of the team listed on the site's contacts, both through there and other channels, but unfortunately I've had no luck yet. I would love to be able to talk to the folks behind the site and find out more of its history and how it came together. Results when attempting to look up the origins of the supposed actor's images don't turn up much. Even the monkey who supposedly played Moochie can't really be found outside of this website. But I believe some of the photos, including those of Richard Moore, Ernest Malone, and Max Lenz, and maybe even Kresky himself, are of Tim Madison wearing various costumes. I think, anyways. The site has been updated as recently as 2022, and I hope it continues to be maintained. I would really hate to see the site disappear. Each actor is given a backstory, a photo, a biography, including fictional credits for other TV shows and movies. These draw from a clear understanding and love of the history of TV and film, and the fake credits match the background and personal history of the fictional characters. For example, Scotty O'Brien, who supposedly played Kresky's crusty but loving father, Jake Kresky, has credits that you might expect for an aged veteran actor to have had in the 1970s. He appeared in Science Fiction Playhouse in the late 1950s, a play on science fiction theater, a real sci-fi anthology show from the same period. It was kind of in the vein of The Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits. He also was apparently a crusading lawyer in The Defense Rests, which is kind of along the lines of a courtroom drama like The Defenders. Richard Ward, who played Commissioner Pratt, supposedly hit it big playing Gage Weston, a peaceful Philadelphia Quaker turned reluctant gunslinging lawman, the 1959 to 1966 Western The Pacifist. That actually sounds like a show I would have loved to watch. It evokes the Western law enforcement shows that had their heydays in the 1950s, like The Rifleman and Wanted Dead or Alive with Steve McQueen. The write-ups even mix real movies and TV credits with fictional shows that add to a sense of the reality, like Hank Duran apparently appearing in Gomer Pyle, Our Favorite Spy, Combat, Alas, Mr. Swift, and Ironside, which is a mixture of real shows and fake shows. Also, go ahead and guess, is Aim to Kill a real Steven Seagal movie? Guess before looking it up. You have a 50-50 chance. Go for it. The hip Ernest Malone was said to have appeared in blaxploitation movies before coming onto the show. Erin Lowe was apparently discovered by the president of UBC while shopping at a drugstore, and he decided she would be the next big thing. And Max Lentz, in his post-acting career, became part of a kind of Scientology-esque new wave spiritual movement. There's a lot of features to this website that really speak to the time it's made. It's a classic Web 1.0 website, so nostalgically there's a guest book you can sign. There's a Kresky personality quiz. You can take it and figure out which character you are. I got Kresky, which is actually very surprising to me. There are fake background stories, references to real actors, actresses, and other media outlets, fake references for the fake facts. There are pages to discuss Kresky spin-offs, all of which of course were very short-lived and unable to capture the magic of the original, as is true of basically all TV spin-offs. There was at one time a working link to a cafe press site where you could buy official Kresky merch. I remember seeing it a long time ago and intending to buy things for a long time, but it no longer works. I really wish I had at the time because I would love to have some official Kresky merch. So I hope at some point that might come back online. The website did get a lot of recognition for its creativity at the time. It did win different awards. There was at one time a made-up theme song created by a fan of the website for Kresky on the Newsgroup archive. Unfortunately, the links no longer work, and I haven't been able to find a copy anywhere. If you have it, please let me know how to hear this. I would love to be able to listen to it. I love the website and its dedication and creativity. Again, it's something I keep coming back to every so often. This is the kind of thing that it was rare in the internet at the time, and maybe that's why it stuck with me so much. But I absolutely love this website. If you've seen this website or have heard of it, let me know. Share any stories you have about it. I would love to find out more if you know anything from behind the scenes. There's so much more to this website. I just scratched the surface, but please, I urge you to look it up and explore it for yourself. There are so many layers to this, and it's fascinating to look through. If you've ever been there or know anything else about this website or have any stories to share, please do. I would love to hear them. And we'll see you soon. Take care for now.